You feel it quietly, a comforting routine that feels responsible and safe, yet somehow keeps tomorrow smaller than promised. This video exists to reveal that silent habit, not to shame you, but to gently show where a different ending begins. At first, the habit feels like discipline, control, adulthood settling in after chaos fades and routines finally stabilize. Later, you notice something unsettling. Effort continues, time passes, numbers inch forward, and freedom never truly arrives. There is a hidden rule here, an invisible line most people never cross, and almost everyone misunderstands completely. It is not about working harder, saving aggressively, or denying pleasures that quietly build resentment inside. It is about a psychological switch, where behavior shifts because identity changes first, silently and gradually. I am Duke, obsessed with financial psychology and invisible patterns, studying behavior humbly to bring clarity. If this perspective resonates, consider subscribing softly, because clarity compounds and mindset shifts quietly change outcomes. Here is the truth advice often skips. There is a difference between protecting money and letting money protect you. Most people push a heavy stone uphill forever, mistaking constant effort for progress, never noticing the slope changes. Your brain evolved to survive storms, not to build ships, and that mismatch shapes financial decisions daily. In survival mode, safety feels urgent, losses feel catastrophic, and every choice becomes reactive and emotionally charged. In wealth-building mode, time stretches, patience grows, and decisions feel strategic rather than desperate or rushed. Research quietly shows that once basic financial buffers exist, stress drops faster than income ever rises. Yet people obsess over pennies, ignoring leverage, momentum, and direction, believing control equals progress mistakenly. Imagine saving consistently for years, responsible and stable, while the growth line stays painfully flat. Then imagine a moment where growth bends upward, mathematically inevitable, and acceleration finally replaces effort. That moment is not luck, it is alignment between psychology, strategy, and timing working together. Once you see this, you cannot unsee it, because the habit was never only about money. The habit was always about control, about feeling safe today, even when it quietly stole possibility from tomorrow. People return to survival mode because comfort whispers louder than opportunity whenever uncertainty begins appearing. They sabotage progress by chasing certainty, mistaking familiar struggle for wisdom, maturity, and responsibility. Opportunities pass unnoticed because the mind stays busy protecting what already exists right now. Career choices shrink, negotiations soften, and meaningful risks are avoided long before numbers actually demand caution. Large purchases feel terrifying, not because they're wrong, but because identity has not evolved yet. Then comes the shift, when you stop asking what you can afford and start asking what this enables. Opportunity cost becomes visible, and small savings lose importance compared to directional, life-shaping decisions. You focus less on daily restraint and more on systems that work quietly without emotional supervision. The silent habit loosens its grip the moment strategy feels safer than fear itself. Remember the invisible line mentioned earlier. This is exactly where most people hesitate and turn back. They confuse temporary discomfort with danger and retreat into habits that feel productive but quietly stall growth. Crossing that line changes everything, not overnight, but through irreversible shifts in confidence and perception. Money slowly becomes a tool for choice rather than a cage built from anxiety and avoidance. You stop reacting to life and begin positioning yourself intentionally inside longer timelines. The future feels larger, not because income explodes, but because clarity finally replaces confusion. This was never about quick riches or fantasies sold loudly by motivational noise everywhere. It was about ending a habit it kept you small, while pretending to be responsibility. When responsibility starts serving vision instead of fear, progress finally compounds with less friction. From that moment forward, poverty fades first inside the mind, then quietly everywhere else. That psychological poverty is subtle, persuasive, dressed as caution, convincing you that staying still somehow equals maturity. Real maturity asks a harder question. What future are your habits rehearsing quietly every single day? When vision replaces fear, decisions feel calmer, even as the stakes objectively grow higher over time. You begin noticing how real builders delay comfort, not joy. Understanding timing reshapes outcomes dramatically today. They are not reckless, they are selective, choosing uncertainty that expands over certainty that contracts. This internal change alters daily behavior long before bank balances ever reflect the shift clearly outwardly. You start reading differently, learning differently, listening through filters shaped by long-term leverage and patience. Small expenses stop feeling sinful, while wasted years suddenly feel painfully expensive instead. You realize survival thinking discounts the future aggressively, selling tomorrow cheaply for today's relief constantly. That is why discipline alone never creates wealth. Direction must always come first before effort matters. Once direction is clear, effort compounds naturally instead of draining your limited energy over time. You stop measuring success monthly and start tracking trajectory across meaningful years ahead with intention. Anxiety softens because plans replace hope, and systems quietly replace constant willpower and stress cycles. Mistakes still happen, but they teach lessons instead of threatening your identity anymore or confidence. Confidence grows quieter, less performative, rooted in understanding rather than constant comparison around you. You stop envying outcomes and start calmly studying the processes behind them with patience daily. The silent habit dissolves when you stop demanding safety guarantees from life and growth entirely. Because growth never asks comfort for permission before arriving unexpectedly and reshaping everything slowly around. And that's when progress stops feeling forced and starts feeling inevitable over time for you. At this stage, money decisions feel lighter because identity finally aligns with long-term intention and personal direction. You notice patience replacing urgency and silence replacing panic whenever numbers fluctuate unexpectedly. Instead of reacting instantly, you pause, evaluate context, and choose actions serving future versions of yourself. This is where leverage quietly enters life, multiplying results without multiplying effort, stress, or constant attention. Networks strengthen, skills compound, and opportunities appear because your posture towards value has fundamentally changed. You negotiate differently now, not from need or fear, but from options you patiently built earlier. Work becomes selective rather than exhausting as you prioritize impact and leverage over constant activity. Even setbacks feel different because they no longer threaten survival, only strategy, timing, and refinement. You stop blaming circumstances and start adjusting systems, knowing outcomes follow structure more than emotion. This mental shift creates space to think creatively about income, ownership, and asymmetric opportunities. You realize wealth grows through positioning, not perfection, and progress tolerates imperfection surprisingly well. Daily life feels calmer because financial decisions stop hijacking your emotional bandwidth and attention. Planning stretches farther ahead, and short-term noise loses power to distract you from trajectory. You understand why most people never escape, even while doing everything they were taught responsibly. They optimized safety before vision, locking themselves into habits rewarding effort instead of direction. You chose differently by questioning the habit early while discomfort still felt confusing and unfamiliar. That discomfort was never danger. It was growth signaling a necessary transition forward. Now your focus stays on trajectory, trusting consistency and leverage to quietly reshape destiny.
You no longer need motivation speeches because alignment sustains momentum naturally over time. This phase is not flashy, but it is powerful, compounding identity first, then compounding wealth. Eventually, you realize the silent habit never shouted warnings. It whispered patiently while shaping choices you barely noticed. It promised safety, yet charged interest in missed chances, delayed confidence, and a shrinking sense of possibility. Once exposed, the habit loses power because awareness breaks patterns faster than discipline ever could alone. You stop romanticizing struggle and begin respecting clarity as the truest form of adult responsibility. The future no longer feels abstract or distant. It feels personal, reachable, shaped by intentional choices.
You understand now that wealth begins as permission to think beyond immediate relief and short-term comfort. Freedom grows not from excess, but from alignment between vision, patience, and intelligently chosen uncertainty. This awareness reshapes how you raise standards, choose collaborators, and commit to long-term paths. You stop asking life to be easier and start asking yourself to be clearer. Clarity builds confidence, and confidence attracts options fear could never allow you to see. The habit that kept you poor dissolves when you stop outsourcing decisions to comfort and familiarity. Responsibility transforms from avoidance into authorship over your financial and personal narrative. You accept that growth feels uncertain because certainty belongs to places that never truly expand. From here forward, every choice quietly votes for the person you are becoming daily. That person thinks longer, sees wider, and responds intentionally instead of reacting emotionally. Money follows structure, and structure follows identity, never the other way around. You no longer need permission, luck, or perfect timing to continue moving forward. You only need consistency aligned with vision, repeated patiently across meaningful stretches of time. This is the real turning point most people never name, recognize, or consciously cross. And once crossed, no silent habit can ever quietly keep you small again.